Hi guys, welcome back to Mystic Mandy Jen. It's been a minute since your girl has been vlogging. Actually, I have been vlogging, I just haven't been posting. I plan on getting a lot of editing done the next few weeks and getting these videos out because it's just time. There's no more waiting. But I kind of want to jump right into this topic today because this has been something that's been sitting on my heart for a while. I've been navigating a lot of big life changes, a lot of new shifts into like this next level version of myself. And as a result, you do go through different like experiences where you're shown kind of opportunities to grow. So for instance, I've had everything from, personal relationships to actually business and the retreats I was doing and a lot of different things. If you are paying attention to my channel, I do a lot of different things. It's very hard to box me in to one thing. So the last few months have just been a lot of different big changes, as you guys know, with like me moving back home and just going through my spiritual journey, coming back to my religion, all this cultivation of like where I am right now. And so today's video has a specific agenda. And why I felt called to share this is because in the spiritual community, which if you are familiar with it, it's kind of this really loose, beautiful way of like kind of finding yourselves. And I think a lot of us, I know for myself, when I didn't feel the connection to my religion and my culture, I needed something else. I needed some belonging. I needed for someone to just be like, to understand me. And I think we go searching, we go on this like conquest to just figure ourselves out. And that kind of leads us down rabbit holes. And then we get into spirituality, which I believe is just, it's a beautiful aspect. It's a beautiful, I don't even know what category to put it in, but like it's beautiful just the same way religion is for people. I think it is kind of a form of religion. I think that a lot of times when we are these lost souls roaming around and trying to find our place and trying to find, like what our next thing is or what our purpose is or why we are on this journey, we look towards spirituality to really open us up. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think you can really find people who connect on your level. You make genuine connections. But one thing, there are some kind of pitfalls or like some things to look out for in the spiritual community that you only really come across at certain times. So like for me, I really fell big into it and I felt so accepted. I felt like this, I found my people, all other people, relating to me and that are also kind of the black sheep in their family, not really understood. So you just kind of feel this acceptance, which is really beautiful. But at the same time, I am a businesswoman. I've been doing business, my own business, for now, officially, it's probably been like 11 or 12 years. I lose count. But I've been in my industry for 16 to 17 years. It's been a while. And in that time frame, I've had to learn so much about being a business entrepreneur, about running a business, about working with others, being a leader, being a boss, and how to like build a team, all these really key things. And it's made me a very like business savvy person. So I love talking this stuff with people. I love engaging in these conversations. But what I noticed with the spiritual community, and I don't want to like label anyone or like, point any fingers, but something that I have noticed is like a lot of spiritual people are just genuinely beautiful souls. They want to help, they want to heal, they want the world to be a better place, but they are not the best business people. And a lot of times there is a shadow side of doing business, especially in the spiritual community. And that's what this video is about today. I'm going to share a story that I am working through currently. in the hopes that you are watching this video, and if you are a photographer or videographer or media person and you're looking to like start doing content or filming for a spiritual healer, a guru, someone that's here to help people, a healer, whatever it is, I just wanted to share my story so that you could learn from my experience and you could grow from it. Because I wish someone would have warned me. I wish someone would have put a video like this, and maybe there are some out there, but like I wish that someone would have gave me the real talk. And that's what this is. This is real talk. So a while back I attended a retreat, and I'm not going to drop any names on this. If you really would like to know, like after this story, you want to get more in depth and you want to ask me, you can personally ask me and reach out to me, and I can explain who it is. If it's in the mindset of like you're thinking about working with this person, and you're just genuinely very curious about like not running into this, because as these healers are getting more exposure, they're getting more famous, they're building their networks, they're building their groups, people are having really great experiences, which healers will give you that, but there's also shadow sides to things. There's also like people being avoidant and people not really being their truest selves when they are only talking about authenticity. And it's kind of like this weird paradox where like, yeah, I understand we can be, we're multifaceted, and there's so many layers to us, there's dual sides. But with this, it's like when you're doing business with someone, when you are going into an energetic exchange, things have to be clear. And not just that, things have to be like, you have to do your due diligence. So if you don't know and you're just watching this for the first time, you have no clue who I am. I do a lot of different things. I have a studio right here. I do photography, videography, filmmaking. I'm currently making a documentary right now. And I'm a creative person. I'm a content creator. I love doing anything that's different and creative and gets the mind going and helping people and communities and that kind of stuff. That's like my big overall theme. So I attended a retreat and I had a positive experience. I had a great time being there, meeting the people. A lot of stuff went down in that retreat, and I will not get into that in this video, but it was a great retreat, and I really respect the teacher. I really held her really high, and I think that is part of the problem here, is like I held her in this really high, above me, place of like, this is the teacher, you don't like mess with her. Even to the point of like that the first days in the retreat, I didn't really try to go talk to her. It was like she kind of had a little barrier where it's like you knew you don't really like talk to her, or you could, or you just like, it was just like I didn't feel the vibe that I could talk. So I talked to her husband to kind of like ask him if it was cool if I would have filmed. And I just wanted to film for my own documentary purposes. And I was like, if she wants to get more into social media, we can talk about it, that kind of stuff. He was super into it. So they let me film, and I made a cute little like documentary video about it. Mini dog, like the ones I have. But this one is not on there, so you will not see this because it never got published, crazy enough. But it was a great video, and it just kind of showed our experience, because I was like, people need to see what goes on in retreats because people have no clue. And it's really nice if you make a video. And I just wanted to get into that world of like shooting something different than weddings. And so we worked well together then, respected each other. Everything's cool, everything's gravy. And then she sees the video, she likes it. And then a few weeks or months later, she reaches out to me and she's like, hey, I'm planning another retreat. It's a women's retreat, and I would love to have you there. I would love you to do photo shoots, and like, what would you charge for something like that? So there was like initially a respect level on like, I'm gonna bring something to her retreat. And we really like vibed with each other very well. So like, I got back to her, I told her my price. She was like, okay, I'll think about it. I'll look at the numbers and come back to you. And then she agreed to pay me a certain rate for doing these five or six photo shoots. And then I was like, well, if I'm out there, we might as well do some kind of exchange. I would love to film content with you if you need to film like a course. I had a lot of like really good ideas for her, just like going off of her retreat. So I was like, these are things that could really help people. And she was like down. She's like, okay, I have a place, you can stay with me and we can do the content. And it was so beautiful. Like we were such in a flow, and we would create content together, have these long conversations, and really like, it was like this deep level of like getting to know each other, but also helping strategize and helping her with her business, of like what her goals were and how she could help so many people in the world, and how I am there to be of service for that. So all is good, all is fine, all is well. We really have like a great friendship, I thought. And that's kind of the one thing with spiritual teachers and stuff, it's kind of this thing of like, a lot of them kind of think they're above, and that they are, knowing more, and they're not really on the level of having friends. And you do have to keep a distance, and you do have to keep boundaries with people. I understand that even in my own practice, where like, I don't want to give off too friendly vibes, even though I am such a friendly person. I will always say that, but like, when you open people up to be full-on friends, it gets a little sticky. So I can see where like our stuff started to get sticky, because like we developed a friendship, and at the same time we're working together, and we're colleagues, and we're creative people, and coming up with all these future plans, and like really, really just being in the moment with everything and enjoying that time. So after I filmed everything, it was an incredible experience filming everything I did. I got so much great footage, and I may even still post the video on here, because I'm really proud of it. It's like my first true documentary work, and I learned so much, and it was just such a beautiful unraveling of like decoding a lot of ancestral stuff. We learned so much. We were like in class, and then we would go out on excursions. It was really, really dope, and I loved everything about it. And I created such an amazing video with it. And on top of it, we created such amazing content together. And we weren't filming every day. We were really doing some like more feminine filmmaking, where it's like you kind of tune inwards, and we do it when we feel it, and when we don't feel it, we don't do it. And so there's no force. So it's this beautiful course, many courses actually, and just lots of like content. Like we were doing a podcast, because we were talking about, crazy enough, healing from your spiritual healers. So I literally have conversations with this teacher that are what I'm having to be working through right now. And it's really weird, because it's like we talked about this. Like we talked through, the betrayals and stuff you feel with people when you pay them money, when you hire a business coach and you're not really like knowing what you're paying for, and like they go radio silent. Like we've all experienced some kind of loss or like issues, I feel like, or most people have, when they hire people to work with, because you just don't know how people are going to be. So now, to cut back to where we're at now, to not make this story so long, but it's been many months. It's been a while, and so the amount that she was going to pay me for was in the few thousands. I'm not going to say an exact number and all that kind of stuff, but it was in the few thousands. So it's not a small amount, but it's not like a crazy large amount. It's just, it was fair for my time and for editing. And she ended up messaging me back after I told her my rate, and she said, well, I can't do that, but here's what I can come up with. This is the amount clearly stated in the text. This would be the amount, and are you good with that? And I was like, okay, I need to also establish, am I taking care of my travel? How does that work? So I like to be clear. I want to know what to expect. And so she was like, you'll have to get your own flight, but the retreat stay is included. You'll have a roommate. And then also from there, like when you're not in the retreat, you'll be with me, and I have an extra room, and you're totally cool to stay there. Because she just opened herself like that. Like it was a really rare opportunity to invite a filmmaker, a documentary crew, as she has posted in some of her stories, or maybe in a post or something. It's very rare to have a documentary person like just stay with you and be with you and like kind of be on call and stuff, and like come up with plans to like, let's come up with content strategy or this or that. Like I was working a lot of the days, and yes, a lot of the days we were resting too, but like that's because we both really believed in not forcing a strict schedule, because it wouldn't produce a good result for her. So with that, I have all this footage. The agreement was like the work exchange would be pretty much the money for the photo shoot. So that was one thing. And then the work exchange was like the stay and the accommodations, and the retreat experience would be for all of my filming days, all of the footage she would be getting, because it would help her with social media. And then I think I had agreed to like doing one, like a highlight reel of it too, so she could promote it. So after the retreat, and this is also part of the story too, and I just have to explain it because now I see where I messed up and where I was like really believing in someone else to help me more than actually trusting myself and like tuning inwards. And I think that's a big message of this video, is like, start to do the work, start to really do the work. And yes, you can have teachers, but don't hold them in this high godlike way, because they are human too, which I do understand from her point of view. She's human, she's going through really real life things, but they are also not the best people and have the best intentions. They are ultimately going to look out for themselves, just like most people do. And why it was so important for me to do this video is because we as, sovereign beings, we as people looking to others for advice, for mentorship, or to be able to just trust someone, we need to do our due diligence with working with people, because not everyone will do business like you. And for me, like, I am a business about principle. Like, if I am going to do something, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And when I'm working with a team, I honor my team. I want to pay them because it's their time, and I have just seen that side, so it's really important to me. And so for this particular teacher, I don't know that she understands that, because she's just doing everything herself. Sure, she has some maybe a VA or anything like that, but not really working so much with people working under her, or like building a team. And that's where we really have to get better on both sides. If you are a healer and you are thinking about expanding and scaling and hiring people to help you, you got to learn how to be a good leader. And if you're on the other side and you're looking for a teacher or healer to help you grow and expand, you got to also understand you have to do your part, and you have to really put in that time into learning everything, but also at the same time not holding that teacher as like your everything, and like they would never do anything bad. Because I remember I thought these things is like, when I started to feel the things coming up that were not being addressed, like if I reached out to her and tried to check in about getting the payment, there would be radio silence, just pure avoidance. And I'm like, okay, she's working through something, she's got a lot going on. And then she would pop back in and be like, oh, I'm having a health thing and I'm just really taking time, I'm not listening to anything right now. And I was like, okay, I respect that. Still backed off. And then one particular issue was that I had an unexpected bill come up, and I was like, that money could really help pay that bill. So like, let me reach out to her. Now it's been like 3 months. Now it's been 4 months. Like, it just kept going and going. And at first I didn't want to even approach her, because it was just hard to do that. Like, oh, I shouldn't do this because she's my teacher. Like, she'll pay me. And so then it started getting really sticky, because now I had asked a few times. Each time she told me it's coming like in a month. Then the month would go by, 2 months would go by, nothing then. then ultimately I had to write an email because I was just like, look, I'm kind of getting fed up. Like, we're getting at a point where it's like, this is blocking abundance for both of us. Like, I put in the work and I should be able to receive. And at the same time, it's like, I didn't just put in all this work for no reason. Like, it was for your exposure. It was for your brand. It was for you. And so I got an interesting email from her after I sent her like, hey, I'm just want to, like, let's get a game plan, like, with what's going on. If you want to start doing some payments or whatever it is, like, let's just talk about it and get the air clear. And I have all this footage, and like, I want to help you. Like, let's talk about it. Let's do a meeting. And it's like, she came back and it was a totally different email, like different tone. And I know she's been going through life changes. We all have, actually. We all are going through these big changes. And I don't want to not validate that for her. I know she's working through some big things right now. But what I got from the email was pretty much her life path. Like, she's still doing the healing stuff, but she doesn't really need my content anymore because it's not really going with her brand anymore in the direction of her business. So I read that and I was just like, you know what, I just need to energetically let this go. But when I talked to one of my other colleagues and friends about it, she raised a good point that I do need to speak up. I cannot just hold it. And actually, for many months, I held it in. So my friend really helped encourage me, and I said, okay, this can be a growing thing for me. Like, it is hard for me to talk to people when it comes to these type of things, when it comes to saying no to people. And I'm learning that this is my wounding and stuff that I have to work on. So this email comes and it's pretty much like acknowledging that, you know, my work is great, and she saw how much I put love into it, but essentially that she doesn't have the money right now, and that she doesn't know when the money would come, and is kind of just like at a point where like she doesn't really need the footage. So like, just not really being clear on any outcome other than she doesn't have the money to pay me. And that was kind of it. And so then I wrote back, and it really did have me assess everything much deeper, and also like to do all that sacred work with her, which like, it was powerful stuff we were doing together. Like, I felt the energy of it. I felt the intensity. I felt how this could help so many people, especially because we made content for healers to be better practitioners and take care of their energy and find more of their feminine flow, and just such a beautiful thing. And then for her to just like dismiss it and just be like, oh, it doesn't really go with what I'm doing right now. I'm focused on some other things. I'm doing this other stuff. Like, not only discredits my work and like what I did, but it's like no respect to that program that we created together. And I get it. Things change. Businesses change. Your ideas change. But it was just an unraveling of everything. And also just being a human, like also feeling like I created a really beautiful, sacred friendship with this woman. And we had, you know, similar stories, and we just really understood each other. And to share that time and space and really be involved in each other's lives like that. And then ultimately for her to turn around and just say, we were never friends. You lived in my house to work for me, and like you're coming out of your wounded feminine because you're hurt, and like basically just like try to gaslight me into believing that it was my fault. I don't know how that works, but that's what, you know, people do. And that just like, I knew I needed to make this video, but like when I got this last final email which just came through, I was like, okay, I really got to come out with this video. And I basically told her in an email that I will be making a video about this because I want people to learn. And that's where we'll kind of segue into in the next video of just like key things you can look out for and how you can detect, you know, if someone is not going to be honest working with you, if they are, you know, going to be playing games and stuff. Like, we as creative business owners, entrepreneurs, we have to take it seriously, and we have to do the same due diligence that we do with our business. Like, so with my photography, my weddings, I don't do stuff without a contract. I don't do stuff without a deposit. I don't do stuff because people do back out and they don't want to pay you, and you can't be left in that middle ground. And so even after doing that my whole life, with like 16 to 17 years in that field and knowing this, I didn't do a contract with her. I didn't get a deposit from her. I only got the texts that say that she's paying me this for this, which that would suffice in court, because I have been in a lawsuit before where I sued someone, and texts do prove. I mean, it's a written thing from that person saying what they're stating to do. So that's all I had, and it's like, now I see it and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I would have just done my regular thing of doing the contract. Okay, yeah, I'm down. I would really love to work with you, but here's what I got to do. But the problem with a lot of spiritual people is they don't like contracts. They don't like doing things by business, and as you can tell, they can fluctuate and change it all in the name of spirituality, and because God said that, or because their higher self guided them. And that's what I don't believe in. I think there should just be an even energetic exchange where it's like we need to value each other on a human to human level. Like, I would not tell someone to come shoot for me and be like, it doesn't really like fit the vibe, so I'm not going to pay you for your time, your energy, your craft. Okay, thanks for your help. Like, I don't operate like that. But it was so wild to see how other people can completely be, oh, hold on, someone might be here. Gotta go. Let's get back on like things to look out for, and ways you can really protect yourself doing business with a spiritual healer or a spiritual guru or teacher, someone that is here to help the world through healing or whatever modalities. And if you're looking to do business with them, you want to look at a few things. You want to see, like, for me, I think if I were to go back, I would kind of assess everything from a bird's eye view. And it's really easy to get excited and to start seeing things like way too big and really, getting lost in the idea of what it could be. But it is really good to get grounded, get clear in the communication. I would say definitely do emails. Try to keep them like a thread going, because then you can follow it. And then also, once you are ready, if they are ready to do business with you and you are ready to do business with them, I would make sure that you contractually come up with something, and that you both understand how to honor that and how to really hold that sacred, because that's work. That's work, and that's exchange, and it's energy. And you do not want to do anything in a negative energy exchange, because it's not going to come out good. So even though we both had good intentions, we didn't realize it was going to get this sticky right now, where we would be faced with like these emails back and forth, where I'm having to make this video now, but like, here we are. And I have to just look at everything like it's a learning experience. I think that helps me cope with stuff a little bit more, when like I understand that like I had to learn a valuable lesson with that, and not close myself off from it, because that can hinder more opportunities. And that, like, essentially we were pulled into each other's lives, me and this teacher, to kind of catalyze a big change for both of us. So on her end, it is not being accountable. It is, having to look within and understand that like her shadow side is there too. Same as me. I'm not saying I'm an angel. I overgive. I am a big person that I just want to believe that everyone is good. And I think I have that quality from my dad, of just trusting people and just being like, yeah, it's okay, you don't have to pay, don't worry, and like holding things inside and being like, oh man, why are they not paying? Like, I hate to ask people, but like, you have to pay. Like, it's a really hard conversation to have. And then I have to dig in deeper. Why is that hard? Why can't I just be direct and logical? Can I not just be direct and open and honest and clear communication? Why is that so hard? And I have to see, where is that coming from? Why do I have such a block with it? And why I need to address these things in all of my relationships, whether that is through, work, or whether that is through even relationships. I'm navigating that as well with like work energy exchange with friends and with family and stuff. So it's just like, this is a time where I'm having to just look at everything and see, like, even with this situation with her, we're at a point now where she's pretty much like, I've even come a counter thing of like, hey, I'm going to reduce the price. Can you at least just put one payment towards it? Like, that would show me that you care, type of thing. And then I got a whole longer email of just more stuff of how she housed me and how she allowed me in her space, and how just like, oh, like that was the agreement, like just all this stuff wanting to like trigger me to respond. And I'm just at a point now where I'm like, I'm doing this video, I'm speaking my truth, I'm going to not name who she is, and I'm not even going to put her name on this anywhere for you to see. But if you personally reach out to me and you just have to know who it is, you can reach out to me and you can know. But I have to feel that it's like, that you actually want to know, for the benefit of like not falling into the same trap. And my whole purpose of this video is just to expose that how people can be, how people can, she is going through some big changes. I know that. I know her life is changing, and I really do wish her well, because like, she taught me so much, and I won't discredit that. I think I have like her top review on her website has my name with her praise, because in those moments after, I was gonna slip out where it was, caught me, in those moments when I returned from the retreat, I felt the impact of what was changing. I felt the impact of the work we did, and it was beautiful. And I want to honor that. And I still want, I still want to send her love for that. My problem was just like honoring what we discussed and what we agreed to together, because that's very important for me. And me now being a spiritual healer myself and doing sound baths, and now people are wanting to do more mentorship with me, it really does have me see things much differently. It really has me understand that, like, how to understand the boundaries more, how to make sure that I'm protecting myself, but also educating the people I am working with, whether that's through coaching or whatever, that they are the ones doing the work, and not to look at me like a god, not to hold me in this high pedestal, like none of that. And even in a class that I taught pretty recently, a few months ago, like my class was doing so good, and I kept reiterating it. I was like, you guys are doing the work, you guys are doing the healing, y'all have it in you, we all have it in us. And to pay thousands of dollars to a teacher, and for her to then come back and just like, one, say she doesn't have money after sending me an email chain that said she just booked a lot of readings, and she made a lot of windfall of money and stuff. Like, it was just the timing of everything is crazy, because it's like, on one hand, you just wrote me an email that said that you are in lack right now, you are experiencing financial hardship, and things aren't what you thought they would be, you're having to start over. And I can accept that, I can, But then literally the next day on an email thread, when I am in your group, you're writing that you made a lot of money from these readings that you started offering. And to me, it just looks like, wow, like, okay, she just told me she didn't, but she does have some money. And also at the root of it, it's like we have to go by our word. Like, what are we if we don't go by our word? I don't like that. I'm a woman of principle, I guess. Because if you're going to tell me something, I want to make sure that, like, yeah, you're going to honor it, because I am. I still showed up. I still did, what I had to do to get there, to document everything and to do it so beautifully in a way that, like, I am proud of to be part of. And then now it's like, well, I don't really have to do anything with it, and it's beautiful footage. So it's like I'm trying to figure out how to go about that. Like, do I still keep parts of the video from my reel to show, because it was really, really beautiful. So next time, if you are a photographer, videographer, if you're just planning to work with a spiritual healer in business, do your research also. And people have amazing reviews. They do. She's an incredible healer. She really does know her stuff, and that doesn't discredit it, but not the best business person, and also highly avoidant, and is someone that I had to learn a really deep experience of speaking my truth like I am right now, exposing what I went through, with not only a loss of a friendship that wasn't really a friendship, a betrayal with business partner, getting scammed of money essentially, still doing the work and still doing my best to deliver something, only to have it just like, oh, it doesn't matter anymore because it's not on brand. So I wish I would have had some stipulations. I wish that payment was given upfront, or that there was some initiative or some type of effort to try to pay me, whatever she could. And I get that people have their issues. We all are going through big life changes. We all are moving through so much, but we need to have compassion and love for each other. So after this point, I have said my piece. I have spoke my truth, and I didn't do it in a way that's felt weird or energetically off to me, because I struggled with figuring out, well, do I put her name? Do I tag her? What do I do? And to me, it's not about that. It's more about the lessons learned. And I hope that this video could help you, and that you could really take away something about, really tune in and do your work, like the real business side of things. And that is where you have to have the structure, where you have to have the rules and the discipline, because otherwise you're just floating, and you don't know if you're getting paid, when you're getting paid, and how do you honor your truth, your worth, your path, your purpose, when you don't honor, like, yourself and your value. Like, how do I don't know. And so I hope that you learned something from this different video that I'm doing. The other thing I will do after this, now that I've spoke my truth, and I will edit this video and I will post it, and it'll just be on the internet. It'll be floating away on the internet, which I'm cool with. The other thing that I do plan on doing is a cord cutting with this, a very, very special one, and I haven't done it so far. So there's quite a few cord cutting practices out there. So I will find one that resonates with me and do one specifically for this teacher and I, so that I can energetically let it go. I can, just accept the hurt, the pain, the betrayal of all of it, not bypass it, not try to just say, oh, it's okay because she was my teacher and she gave me knowledge, and that knowledge like really counts, that knowledge paid for it. No, at the root of it, like, she did not fulfill her duty, she did not fulfill her promise, her energetic exchange with me. And you know, there's always consequences to things, and ultimately God's got my back. God has her back too in her way, but God does see everything in the intentions, and I know from everything within my heart that when I get involved in a project, when I am in something, I'm full-fledged in it, and my intentions is only to help people be seen in their best way, in their highest light, in their truest self. And I do feel like I got to see that version of her. I got to see a really, really fun side of her that not many people get to see. We got to share some really special moments, some really deep conversations. And I can actually honor it at that. Like, I know what it was. I know what that felt like. I know that we connected as like sisters, essentially, like sisters of humanity. I did not hold myself higher. I definitely held her a lot higher, with her being my teacher. But now I see a really, really key thing of like, she's human just like every one of us. We are all very flawed. We all make mistakes. We are not perfect. And at the root of it, I gotta energetically cut that cord, release that block with that money. So much more money is gonna come to me, and I know it, and I trust God for this lesson because it taught me valuable lessons about my worth and about having difficult conversations with people, talking about money and the sticky things that people don't want to talk about, but really this understanding that like at the end of it, we're all people, we're all trying to figure things out, and we need more compassion, and we need to be able to share our truth in a way that is going to help the world. So that's my intention, and I hope you enjoyed this video.